I'm Mrs. Fannie Lou Hamer, and I farmed on the Marlowe plantation for 18 years. I had charge of keeping up with the time and paying off, and I went down the 31st of August to try to register. And after I had gotten back home, Mr. Marlowe told me that I would have to go down and withdraw my registration or leave because they wasn't ready for that in Mississippi. And I said, Mr. Marlowe, I'm trying to register for myself. So I had to leave that same night after I had gone down in August. And then I spent one night with Mrs. Tucker, and after about 2 days in September, they shot in the house 15 times, thinking that I was there.
Hamer was born on October 6, 1917 in rural Montgomery County, Mississippi. She was the youngest of 20 children to Jim and Ella Townsend, poor sharecroppers who found it hard to provide proper food and clothing for their children. At the young age of 6, she joined her family in the cotton fields and eventually dropped out of school to work full-time. She picked cotton for tenant from owner W. D. Marlowe from 1944 to 1962. At the age 16, she caught polio, making field work harder. Upon finding Fannie Lou could read and write, he made her the time and record keeper of the plantation.
In the summer of 1962, Hamer attended a protest meeting held by the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. The group was dedicated to helping blacks with their reading and writing so they could register to vote. She was 37 at the time and was right for expressing her outrage over the conditions she and other blacks were subjected to in the rural community. Hamer believed that blacks could change their conditions, political and economic, if they could vote for the candidates that could best serve for them. Fannie, along with other potential voters, studied with the Southern Free School and passed the voter registration on her third try. When her farm owner found out about her registration, he threatened to kick her and her family off the plantation. She left that night and stayed with friends. However, her location was discovered and she and her friends were shot at by the KKK.
In 1963, the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party was formed because no help from the federal government regarding voting rights was coming. Delegates from the party were sent to the 1964 Democratic Convention in Atlantic City, New Jersey, where they challenged the seating of the Mississippi delegation. Fannie took the opportunity to describe to the convention and the world the horrific way she was treated after leaving a voter registration workshop in June 1963. She said that on her way home, she and some others stopped for food, and instead of being served, they were arrested. She was taken out of her jail cell and, under orders of a state highway patrol officer, was beaten by 2 black prisoners with a police blackjack. It was 3 days before she was given medical attention. Her injuries included permanent kidney damage, a blood clot in the artery of her left eye, and a limp when she walked.
Fannie Lou's involvement widened as she ran for Congress in the Mississippi State Democratic primary in 1964. She was unsuccessful, but went on to appear at rallies, colleges, and universities around the country to speak to students. She led the Cotton Pickers Resistance Movement in 1965 and was instrumental in helping bring a Head Start program to her hometown. She was the Democratic National Committee representative from 1968 to 1971. She ran for the Mississippi State Senate in 1971 and was a delegate to the Democratic National Convention in 1972.
Fannie Lou died in the hospital at Mound Bayou, Mississippi on March 14, 1977, of heart problems, hypertension, and breast cancer. She was famous for her rich singing voice, which she used to soothe tensions and to fortify herself spiritually. She sang "This Little Light of Mine" and other spirituals to calm others during marches and critical events. Her funeral was held in Ruleville, Mississippi on March 21, 1977. Her final resting place, a place she helped create, was the Freedom Farms Cooperative.